High above eastern Anatolia, on a mountain nearly 2,150 meters above the world, giant stone heads lie scattered across the summit. They once belonged to gods, or perhaps to a king who wanted to become one. Their bodies still sit on stone thrones facing the horizon, but their heads have fallen to the ground, staring silently across the mountain as if they are still guarding something. Behind them rises a strange artificial hill, a massive mound of crushed stone. It is not natural. It was built by human hands. And somewhere beneath it, many believe, lies the lost burial chamber of King Antiochus I of Commagene. For more than 2,000 years, no one has reached it. Not ancient tomb raiders, not archaeologists, not modern surveys. So, why did a forgotten king build a sanctuary for gods on one of the loneliest peaks in Anatolia? Was this only a tomb, or was it a final attempt to rise above that itself? This is Mount Nemrut, a throne above the clouds, where kings, gods, stars and silence still keep watch. And tonight, we climb toward one of the most mysterious monuments of the ancient world. To understand Mount Nemrut, we first have to understand the kingdom that created it. Commagene was not a vast empire. It was a small Hellenistic kingdom standing at a dangerous crossroads between worlds. To the east lay the traditions of Persia and Mesopotamia. To the west, the expanding power of Rome and the legacy of the Greeks. In the middle stood Antiochus I, a ruler who understood that survival was not only a matter of armies, it was also a matter of identity. He claimed descent from great royal lions, from the Persian king Darius through his father's side, and from Alexander the Great through his mother's side. Whether we read this story as history, propaganda, and sacred kingship, the message was clear. Antiochus wanted to present himself as the meeting point of East and West, and on Mount Nemrut, he carved that idea into stone. The gods seated on the mountain are not purely Greek and not purely Persian. Their names are fused together. Zeus, Oramastes, Apollo, Mithras, Helios, Hermes, Artemis, Heracles, Ares. Even the mountain itself becomes a symbol of this union, a place between earth and sky, between cultures, between mortality and eternity. This was not just architecture, it was a political statement, a religious vision, and perhaps the most ambitious self-portrait ever created by a king of Commagene. On the east and west terraces of Nimrod, colossal seated statues once rose in a carefully arranged line. Antiochus placed himself among the gods, not beneath them, not outside their company, among them. Beside him stood Commagene, the goddess of the land itself. At the center was Zeus Oramastes, the supreme god in this blended pantheon. Nearby were Apollo Mithras and Heracles Artemis, divine figures carrying both Greek and Iranian meanings. At each end stood guardian animals, the lion and the eagle. The lion spoke of earthly power. The eagle pointed upward toward the heavens. Even today, with the statues damaged and their heads fallen from the bodies, the sheen is overwhelming. These were not decorations for a royal tomb. They were a stage, a sacred theater of kingship, a stone audience chamber where Antiochus would be remembered not only simply as a ruler, but as a being worthy to sit with the divine. But that raises the deeper question. Why build this at the summit of a remote mountain? Why choose a place so difficult to reach, so exposed to snow, wind, earthquakes, and time. Perhaps because Nimrod was never meant to be easy. Pilgrims had to climb toward it. Priests had to approach it through ritual. And anyone who reached the summit would feel exactly what Antiochus wanted them to feel. They had left the ordinary world behind. At the center of the sanctuary rises the most important structures on Mount Nemrut, the Great Tumulus. It's a huge mound of loose stone chips, roughly 50 meters high today and about 150 meters in diameter. Ancient inscriptions indicate that Antiochus intended this place as his eternal resting place. But the burial chamber itself has never been found. That is what makes Nimrod so powerful as a mystery. Unlike many ancient tombs, this one has not given up its king. The mound is made of countless small stones. If someone tries to dig directly into it, the stones shift and collapse back into the opening. The structure almost behaves like a natural defense system. Simple, silent, and brutally effective. It does not need metal doors. It does not need traps. It only needs gravity. For decades, archaeologists searched for the chamber. Teresa Gohl, the pioneering American archaeologist who helped bring Nimrod to international attention, devoted much of her life to studying the site. Excavations, documentation, and geophysical investigations deepened our understanding of Nimrod. But the central question remained unanswered. Where is Antiochus? Is his chamber still hidden inside the mound? Was it carved into the bedrock beneath the tumulus? Was it sealed so carefully that even modern methods cannot safely reach it? Or did the king design his monument so that the mystery itself would survive longer than his body? Standing before the tumulus, the silence feels deliberate. The mountain does not reveal, it resists. And perhaps that is exactly why Nimrod still holds us. On the west terrace, among the broken reliefs and fallen stones, one image carries Nimrod's mystery beyond the mountain and into the sky. It is known as the Lion Horoscope. The relief shows a powerful lion surrounded by stars. A crescent appears near its chest, and above its back are three celestial bodies identified as planets: Mars, Mercury, and Jupiter. For more than a century, scholars have studied this image as an astronomical statement carved in stone. One influential interpretation connects the arrangement with a date in the 1st century BC, often given as July 7, 62 BC, possibly marking a royal or cultic event connected to the Antiochus and the sanctuary. But like so much at Nimrod, the exact meaning is still debated. Was it the date of Antiochus' coronation, the foundation of the sanctuary, a sacred festival, or a celestial message meant to connect the king's earthly monument with the order of the heavens? Whatever the answer, the Lion Horoscope shows us something essential. Nimrod was not only looking outward across the land, it was looking upward. The statues faced the horizon. The terraces greeted sunrise and sunset. The gods sat beneath the open sky. Antiochus did not build his monument in a closed valley or hidden city. He built it where stone and stars could meet, where his name could be placed not only in history but in the cosmos. In the end, Mount Nimrut is not only about archaeology. It is about the oldest human fear, the fear of being forgotten. Antiochus ruled a small kingdom surrounded by powers greater than his own. Rome would rise. Empires would shift. Languages would disappear. Borders would be redrawn again and again. He could not stop history, but he could try to outlast it. So he built a mountain sanctuary. He filled it with gods who carried the names of different worlds. He placed his ancestors in stone. He raised lions and eagles as guardians. He carved his religious laws into the backs of thrones. And then he placed his own image among the divine. This was more than pride. It was a strategy against oblivion, a way of saying, I was here. My kingdom existed. My gods were worshipped. My name must not vanish. And in one sense, Antiochus succeeded. His kingdom is gone. His capital is silent. The rituals have ended. But on the summit of Nimrod, his monument still speaks. Not loudly, not clearly, but enough. Enough to make us climb the mountain. Enough to make us look into the faces of fallen gods. Enough to make us ask what still lies beneath those stones. As the wind moves across the summit, the giant heads remain where time has left them. Antiochus no longer rules a kingdom, but he still commands attention. The gods no longer receive sacrifices here, but they still face the horizon. The tomb has not been opened. The mountain has not surrendered its secret. Perhaps one day, new technology will reveal the chamber hidden beneath the tumulus. Perhaps archaeologists will finally find the place where Antiochus intended to spend eternity. But even if that chamber is found, Nimrod may never become simple, because this mountain has never only about what lies beneath the stone. It was about a human dream older than any empire, to defeat silence, to outlast death, and to be remembered when the world has forgotten your name. The kingdom of Commagene is gone. Its borders have vanished. Its rituals have fallen silent. But high above Anatolia, the stone heads still wait for sunrise. The lion still keeps its stars. The tumulus still keeps its king. And Mount Nimrut continues its eternal vigil, not as a ruin of a lost kingdom, but as a question carved into the mountain itself. Some places do not answer the mysteries of history, they preserve them. This is Archevora, uncovering the lost, preserving the forgotten.